Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Perfect. Let me just close this, make sure everything's all good. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's get this open over here. What's going on? Should be live now. Yeah, it's all good. Hello, hello, John. Hello, Glovey. Hello, Andy. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Perfect. How's everyone? Hello, like always. Hello, DB. Hello, Bella. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, user MV7. 1 second, I'm just making sure this is all good. Let me know if you can hear, see me. Everything's all good. 1 second. Let me just check this is all good. There we go. How do I do this? Oops. 1 second, guys. Let me know how your weekend was, guys, as we head into Monday. Let me move this over. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. There's a few. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. How is everyone? It's been cold. Yeah, definitely. Definitely a pretty cold one this weekend. Interesting to be back in the UK. I'm back in Dubai very soon, so back to the normal setup. So yeah, it should be fun. So yeah, looking forward to it. Do you see the Facebook scammer using your video I reported? I did, Chris. I've been sent today a bunch of different ones from Discord, from YouTube, from loads of different. I mean, loads and loads and loads of different scenarios. So yeah, I don't know what's gone on this weekend. I think because it's Christmas, like there's just loads and loads of scammers about. So yeah, I've seen quite a few come up this weekend. I've got to recover from a night out in the freezing Western Supermare. That sounds good, DB. Sounds like you had a good time anyway. You want this temperature? Yeah, freezing. Can't feel my hands. I was outside for. Hello, hello, hello. I am trying to get live back on TikTok as well, so I can see both TikTok and YouTube lives right now, which is pretty interesting. Figured out some stuff with there, so yeah. Hello, Andy Munn. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Katie. This time of year is rife for scammers, definitely. I mean, it is really, really insane the amount that's going around right now. Really, really be careful. I mean, the amount of people that just very brazenly, like not even copying my name or copying my my like ColezTrades thing, and they've just messaged people on Discord saying like, "Yo, I've seen you just joined my community. This, and it's like, you're clearly not me. What are you trying to do? So yeah, interesting anyway. But yeah, on tonight's live for those who are new watching. On this live, I tend to mark up the charts, come up with a plan for tomorrow, and then from there answer any questions as well. So if you do have any questions along the way, just let me know and I'll happily answer any questions. And I hope everyone's had a good weekend as well. Let me know how your weekend's gone as well. Let me know what you think of price action heading into next week. Obviously, we are at all-time highs right now, pretty much dead on all-time highs. So it's going to be interesting. Overall opinion, though, is I do think we will continue to the upside. Small corrections like this, I think are going to be, quite common, but nothing major really. So going to look to continue with the upside. Lovej away, loads of different places. I've been going around. So currently I think I'm in London or just outside. So yeah. Price action bullish, definitely. Very confident on the continuation to the upside. I think if we had a strong reaction from 4,500, then I'd be like kind of wary. But we've just breezed right through it. I think that was a big psychological barrier for a lot of people, and the fact that we've boomed right through it shows that we still haven't got that selling pressure to push us down further. We haven't got that selling pressure at all, really. So I think definitely the safe side for going into next week is just trying to capture the trend, trying to get in that trend to get into the upside. So yeah. But we'll have to see what goes on. I do already have a nice level marked out, but I will come up with some other areas to look for as we head into next week. I feel like a lot of people have got this level on. It lines up with, it's golden pocket, point of control, and then a lot of people using a lot of different confirmations like confluences have got that level as well. So that's really, really good to see. Really, really good to see. So I'm really happy. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying the live, tapping the screen does help, likes the live and stuff like this. And again, any trading questions, I'll happily answer. So again, this level I've got on here is point of control, golden pocket, trend line. It's basically an area of confluence where I expect price to bounce from. I am bullish to the upside. So if we do come down to that level, I will look for a bounce from that level. And we'll look for a few other levels. I really want something around this value area low. I think this value area low will be important come next week. So we'll see what lines up there. But let me know your opinions on the market. And yeah, let's get into it. Bounce up on open. Yeah, I think a gap up seems likely. It's just been gapping up pretty much every market open. So I think a gap up seems likely. Similar to this. We'll have to see though. Sounds not festive now. Yeah, I got 44.87 marked. Will be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, really nice. Really nice. It seems like I think you're the fourth or fifth member on the lot not on this live, on yesterday's live, who said about that 87 level. So it seems to be lining up for a lot of different people. That doesn't mean that it's just guaranteed to be respected at all. I don't want anyone here thinking, okay, loads of people have got that level, it's going to be respected. That's not the case at all. It's just good to see that a lot of people have the same opinion as you. But it doesn't mean that it's just guaranteed. It just means it's a nice level. Andre, so for risk management, I like to use a uniform risk management. So I like to risk a set pound amount per trade. I think it's the best way to do risk management for any pair. And that means that every single trade, you're risking the same amount per trade. This means that when your edge is performing well and when your trading's performing well, versus you're just over risking on a few lucky winners. That can often ruin your view of your edge because you just got lucky. And sometimes people put winners down to skill rather than to luck. And so yeah, using a uniform risk per trade is definitely, in my opinion, the way to go. If you're risking, let's just take £20 on one trade and £30 on another trade and £10 on another trade and £30 on another trade. You're just over risking on some trades and under risking on others, which is obviously really, really not good. But again, guys, any questions, just let me know and I'll happily answer them. Interested to see what happens with silver though, wild stuff going into the new year. Definitely, I feel like silver's becoming more and more popular, just judging off how many people bring it up to me, how many questions I get asked on silver. Silver over the past 6 months has just got more and more popular as an asset to trade, which is very interesting. Yeah, exactly, Andre. I think that's definitely the way to go. Otherwise, you don't know if you've even got an edge, really. And then Andre, when you're sort of more advanced, I don't know what level you're at, but this is like very, very, very advanced. I would say you can edit that a little bit, but I don't skip the gun. This is like when you're really, really comfortable with it. You can divide your entries into like 3 categories, let's say. So you've got like an A setup, a B setup, and a C setup. And on an A setup, let's say you're risking $1,000 per trade. On an A setup, you might risk $1,200. On a B setup, you might risk $1,000, and on a C setup, you might risk $800. Just if you're getting like extreme confirmations, you know, everything's lining up, it's just perfect. You know, we all have some of those trades where it's just like, it's just everything's lining up. Okay, you don't want to over risk on that trade, but I think allowing yourself some flexibility in your system to really make the most of when those opportunities come, I think it's a good thing. And if something is you know, going through your rules and it's going through your checklist and it's lining up, but you're just not as comfortable, you're still comfortable enough to take the trade and everything looks good, but you're just not at that level, then maybe lowering risk a little bit. But for vast majority of people, just that uniform risk is the way to go, in my opinion. Do you have it? So this is just fixed volume range profile. It basically shows the volume over a given period, the amount of transactions that took place. So this is just fixed volume range profile. I also use the session volume range profile. You can just get that by typing it in TradingView. Session volume range profile HD. This shows you a volume profile over each day. I see I've got something cooking for us. Looking at silver, his insights are always eye-opening. Yeah, Steph, something which I was speaking to CDOG a lot over the past couple of days as well. And we're going to start doing a more advanced live, like sort of once a week, which is basically, it's just a more advanced, you know, like a boot camp section, but a lot more advanced. And it will be like very advanced. But it'll just be really good and hopefully, you know, spark some ideas. And then also, I don't know if you noticed, but in the private group, I've added another section which is advanced fundamental analysis. And that one is basically, you know, CDOG's reports, where he gives a report in the Discord. It's like, I think his recent ones it's on repo markets. So like, I explained it in terms of water. I know the analogy I used. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put his report there, and then I'm going to go through the report, because I do read everyone. I want to know the content that he's putting out and everything like that, and I find it interesting. And then I'm going to go through it, get sort of key points that that I like, and try and put it in a condensed, very like fast formats. Then you can log onto the advanced fundamentals, see a report. If you've got time, you can look through it. If you haven't, you can just get my bullet points from it, which give you sort of good things going forward. I think that's a really, really good thing to have. I've recently I sent it to CDOG earlier. Let me know if you want me to read it out, but basically I'll read it out a little bit so you know what to expect. Where is it? Here we go. So it was it was quite long, so I'm actually not gonna read it on here, but it basically gives a good fundamental outlook using fundamental bias on gold FX pairs going forward. Very, 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 very good, very high level stuff. So that's something that which I'm introducing in collaboration with CDOG as well. So I think that's a really, really cool thing. So really, really cool thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. What's that? What did Andy? Been working through the bootcamp videos while I've been off work. Loving it. Got my 90k account through last week. Hoping for a steady start to the new year. Nice, Andy. Nice, Andy. Really, really, really good. Yeah, wish you luck, mate. Definitely. I know you'll smash it. So really, really nice to hear. Oh yeah. Oh, that Alan. So let me just make sure my phone's there. So the lines that I've got on the chart are basically trend lines. So it's like scaffolding on a building. So you're not just going to chuck up a building, or when you come to a patch of ground, you can't just building on. You've got to lay your scaffolding so you can get the outline of the building structure on the chart. And so I use trend lines for sort of an outline of what I'm looking for, so we can see sort of this trend line's moving up here, this trend line's going across here. It's more of like structure on the charts, and then also they give me confluence between levels. I'll use like a trend line with a point of control and a golden pocket, exactly like here. And when we come down to this level, I'll look for a potential buy position because it's got those three things all lining up next to it. I understand the lows and the highs, but I don't understand the middle ones. Do you mean these lines here? Alan, do you mean the blue, this line here, and this line here? Is that the one you're going on about, Alan? When you say 4487, is that the range you can expect it to go down to, then bounce up from, or is 4487 the bounce and 483 the stop loss. This is just the range. So when trading, nothing's like dead set price. Nothing's an exact price. Why is it not an exact price? Because if we think about it from like institutional's point of view, they can't put orders an exact price because not all the orders will get filled. So they've got to spread them over a small area. That's a good way of thinking about it. And price isn't exact, okay? Price is very much an area. So even though these trend lines here, these trend lines aren't fixed lines. I think of them as an area. So every single level that I have is an area where price can come to. The bottom line is not going to be 100% won't be my stop loss, but it's an area that I see price bouncing from. The red line's in the middle. Okay, Alan, so great question. The red line in the middle is the highest volume node in this given area. So if I don't really want that on anymore. Let's just remove a lot of this so we can more clearly see what's going on. And what I am going to do as well is I'm going to remove the background of this so you can clearly see. So this is a volume range profile. It shows me the volume over a given period. So a lot of you will know when you come to a chart, normally when you first preload the chart, it's got volume on the bottom, okay? And that shows you volume at a given price. So let's say you're on the 1 hour time frame and the volume spikes, okay? You can see volume at a given time. Whereas what this does is it shows you volume at a given price. Now, because I look for areas to buy and sell from, I look for support and resistance, key areas, I want to know key prices. So time doesn't matter as much to me. I care about price. And on this fixed volume range profile, this gives me key high volume areas where price is likely to bounce from. So if we think about this in terms of like a motorway, okay? And the dips in volume, I don't know if you can see this too clearly. What I'll do is I'll make it extremely clear for you guys to, I'll make it extremely clear for you guys to see. Okay, there we go. So you see these lines here. This is volume at a specific price. And then we can see these dips. So we can see when it's really high and when it's really low. And if we think about this in like a sort of road, and price is trying to come down through the road, okay? If we go over where there's not many cars, so I want you to visualize like a road, yeah? And one of the roads is really, really busy, okay? This road here. If you try and cross that road, chances are you're not going to make it very far. A car's going to hit you, or you're just going to run out and then you're going to run back the other way, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on that road. You're not going to try and cross it, okay? So when price comes down to this road, okay, there's a lot of traffic there, okay? Chances are price isn't going to be able to make it through that area. So we can potentially see a bounce. Whereas if price comes to an area like this, where there's not much volume, chances are it will pass through that area fairly quickly. Just like if you were going to come to a road and there's not that many cars, you can just run straight over it. You don't have to worry about getting hit by a car. That's basically what I'm looking for through volume area. And then this red line, going back to the original point, this red line is the busiest road. This is where the most cars are. This is where the most transactions took place. So it's obviously a very, very key level. If you were going to go on a journey, okay, you're not going to remember the roads that are kind of busy. You're not going to remember the roads which are not very busy at all. You're going to remember when you were stuck on traffic on the M40, okay, and it's a pain in the ass, and you phone up your mum saying, yeah, I'm stuck in traffic. This is awful. And you're trying to figure out what the hell to do. Okay, that's basically what it is. Okay, nice, Alan. I look forward to seeing it. Again, guys, if you're enjoying the live, double tapping the screen helps spread the live around. If you do have any questions to do with trading at all, please don't hesitate to drop a comment, and I'll happily answer any questions you may have. When finding a stop loss, is it just below the previous low? I have been doing the boot camps, but that is something I need to go back over. So Nixie, great question. A lot of people get worried about where to put stop loss, and it seems to be one of the most common questions that I get asked 100%. And one of the best ways to put stop loss is under a previous low or a previous high, and over time you'll learn where best to put the stop loss. To begin with, putting it below a low or above a high. Below a low for buys, above a high for sells is probably the best thing to do, okay? So, for example, if you were trying to enter a buy position, where's my buy position? If you're trying to enter a buy position here, looking back to the left-hand side of your chart, finding a low and slapping your stop loss below that is a great rule of thumb, okay? But as you get more advanced, you can realize, okay, unless we, if when we come down to like the candle bodies, if we break those candle bodies, then normally we go down to the low anyway. So I can actually put my stop loss up here and use a lot tighter stop loss and not get stopped out. Over time, you'll build up how to do that. But to begin with, putting it under a low or above a high is a great option. I don't trade. I don't trade silver. So yeah, I know fundamentally it looks very, very good. There was something, there was something really funny that happened ages ago. I remember a funny story with silver. Is there was once two brothers. I find it a very interesting story. Slight tangent, but there was these two brothers, and basically their dad was a billionaire in the oil industry. He was one of the, I think he was the first billionaire in America or one of them, and what happened was basically those brothers got into silver, and because they believed the dollar was just going to be worthless, they just started stockpiling silver, and they flew it all the way to Switzerland, and they like completely manipulated the market on silver, and eventually they got like there was new rules that had to be put in place in the market, which are still abided by today, because these guys bought so much silver. They own like 10% of the world's silver supply, and they just flew it all to Switzerland because they had that little trust in the US dollar. I think it's very interesting. And yeah, rules that we still abide by today are because of those two brothers who just, yeah, nicked all the silver. What's that? Oh, I appreciate Nick C. What do you think about? I don't know. I don't trade stocks. And overall, in the stock market and regarding investing, something which I find very interesting is overall, something which is I find very, very interesting is women actually have a better performance in the stock market as opposed to men, because men try and find like particularly good stocks and they try and outperform the market, whereas women don't really do that. They tend to just invest in index funds and things like this, and so overall women actually perform better. So I think there's definitely something we can learn, there. Yeah, Callum, gold and then Bitcoin when Bitcoin's got enough volume and volatility to actually trade very well. And you don't need a lot of pairs. On the whole, people who trade less and trade on less pairs profit more. You really don't need to trade one pair with a few trades a month can retire you and make you a ton of money. You really don't need to trade a lot of pairs. And also, it's not good to trade a lot of pairs because it's a lot to remember. Like, you've got to remember the news impacting all of those pairs. You've got to sort of stay aligned with those pairs, and every pair will move different. And then a lot of the pairs that you trade will be tied to the US dollar. So you'll actually be, in a lot of cases, trading, I went over this in one bootcamp, but trading one idea but across multiple pairs, because you'll be trading like Euro USD, GBP USD, JPY USD, or whatever, okay? And it's all tied to the US dollar. So chances are you'll be hedging yourself accidentally, and you'll have a lot more exposure to one idea than you actually realize. So that's something to watch out for, definitely. Alan, currently for Bitcoin, I've got 2 levels, and I'll whip up those levels, and I've literally it's been just ranging in the middle of the 2 levels which I had. These 2 levels are just very important, and we've been ranging in between them for a while now, and until one of these levels is hit, like this rangy, like low liquidity price action, and obviously over the weekend, so that's not good. But if we just look at this, like there's not much it doesn't look good to me at all. Bitcoin's price action. So if it doesn't look good, I won't trade it. So yeah. Boom. Let me zoom back in here. Yeah, Callum, I've got it linked on my description, YouTube description. You can check it out there, and you can happily, ask me any questions or anything. Lady H, drop me a message or at me in Discord, and I'll do like a full review of silver because I don't trade silver. I'll need to like really look into everything. It'll take a bit of time. I'm very aligned with gold and with Bitcoin most of the time, but silver, as I don't really trade it, I'll need to really deep dive into it to give an actual good analysis of it. By the way, guys, let me know if the video and everything's all good. I am going live on 2 platforms right now, so I want to make sure that both of them are good. I don't know if going live on 2 platforms at the same time will impact experience, so I hope it's all good. What's that? I saw someone said, please don't buy silver, buy Bitcoin. Look, mixing it up, diversifying is never bad, but I do love Bitcoin. Like always, so I've sent, there's a link in the educational resources section to my chart on gold, but I can't link, I don't think I can link both the charts at the same time. Just how TradingView works is I send a link to my live chart, and you can see whichever chart I'm on at that period of time. It's just a TradingView function. I can't change it. So if I'm on Bitcoin and you go onto it at that time, then you'll see my Bitcoin chart. But if I'm on gold, like I most of the time am, then yeah. Okay, cool. That's good. Dip hard soon. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it depends if you're trading Bitcoin or you're just holding it for the long term. Yeah, nice, Alan. Really nice. Amazing to hear. It's with SMC. I also use the concept, but what's your opinion on it, Max? Cheers. Jordan, I do think it's overall very good. I mean, the concepts in terms of order blocks and in terms of like just market structure and how SMC views price action, I think it's very good and fundamentally sound. However, there are a few things which I disagree with, especially in terms of its approach to liquidity. It can work, but doesn't mean it makes sense. So there's a lot of examples of where it can work, but it doesn't make sense. So for example, if let's say there's a archery target in front of you, yeah, and you shoot an arrow behind you and it bounces and goes and hits the board. Okay, it worked, but it doesn't really make sense. Okay, things can work, but actually it doesn't make sense. And I feel like there is a few things like that within SMC, but it definitely can be used. There's a lot of just amazing concepts in there that can be used, but on the whole, I don't use it, and some of it I don't really like. But if someone, look, if you profit with anything in trading, I don't care if it's SMC, looking at stars or anything, okay? If you're profiting and you're doing well, then absolutely amazing. And Brandon in particular has an absolutely unbelievable knowledge of SMC. His system is very nice and he's absolutely smashing it. And so, all the power to him. Max Hell. We're dropping like it. I appreciate that. I'm now. Of supply and demand. Basically, Steve. So, are you asking about my system there, Steve? Sorry, Bitcoin's great too. Just don't understand it. Okay. Yeah, Bitcoin's brilliant. Bitcoin's brilliant as a good store of value, secure store of value. So. Yeah, Steve, so my system, I basically look for areas of confluence. So I look where a lot of things line up. So this can be volume levels, Fibonacci levels, trend lines, point of control, high volume nodes, value area high, value area low, whatever it may be. Previous highs, previous lows, naked points of control, VWAP, whatever it may be. And I look for areas where a lot of those things line up in a close area. And by using that confluence and identifying those levels, I can find levels which chances are will be respected, and so then I can look for positions as we approach those levels. A lot of times they do line up, like a lot of times my levels do line up with people trading supply and demand. Brandon, me and him often have quite a few similar levels a week, and he trades SMC. So yeah. For me, silver is too closely linked. For me, silver is too closely linked to silver to want to trade. Do you mean? I do know someone that trades divergences between gold and silver with success. Ah, okay, cool, Drew. Yeah, that sounds very very interesting and something really cool. And then silver, something to factor in with silver is because silver isn't as liquid pair, its conditions to trade aren't as good, for day trading. But swing trading silver, look, there's definitely been a lot of great opportunities this week. Okay, cool, Callum, nice. What's your row size? I put my row size at 200, I believe. Yeah, 200, and I use the same on session volume profile. So 200, so then I can see more. Basically, I get more detail because I think the standard is like 70, and you just can't see much on 70. So yeah, I'm gonna look for one more area that that looks good, just in case if we do break this level with sort of substantial volume, then I want a nice level. If we break this level though, then I'll anticipate us to come down and take these lows, because there's going to be not much standing in the way of us taking those lows. So I do think we will just continue up though. Let's see if anything sort of looks good. Let me move this over. Okay, we do have a daily open, previous daily. We have a nice VWAP there. I do like that. Yeah, there's so much in that zone. I like that a lot. It's not really... There's nothing much in this zone until we get all the way down here. So I don't really want to be buying in this sort of low volume area here. There's low volume area between this range and this range. This area here. It's just low volume. We've just breezed through it. I don't really want to be getting into buy positions there. It doesn't look too nice to me. The only level which looks particularly good is that level there, but not enough lines up with it to really make it worth my time marking it up. And I'll definitely have to reevaluate things if we do make it down to that low. So yeah, currently this seems like the only really nice buy level right now, in my opinion. Yeah, I really like this. Tony, I don't agree with buy straight away. I think wait for your system to give you a buy signal, wait for confirmations, and then look for a trade. But I do agree, bullish going into next week makes sense. Hammer watching professional poker. I'm excited. You mentioned volume divergence before approaching levels. How do you see that on your indicator, Liam? So this is something I really like to use these, but this can be a slight bit more advanced, and some can find it a bit confusing. It definitely takes, like a lot of things in trading, takes a bit of time. So take it with a pinch of salt, that it might not make sense straight away. But a great example of this is Jay in the community, who he's made over 6 figures from trading the past few months alone. Started with us just making a few £100s here and there, and part of his system is looking for these exact volume divergences. So let's say we approach this level here. I mean, hindsight's 2020, but just to give you an example of what one looks like, basically what we're looking for is volume. If we let me just move this up a bit. There we go. I'm hoping you can see this. So basically what we're looking for is volume to make higher lows and hopefully higher highs. So volume going up. This is the VWAP here. This yellow line here. I'll move it up on the chart even more. But this yellow line here is called VWAP, volume weighted average price. It's not the normal VWAP. The normal VWAP's on your chart, but this is volume weighted average price. Basically, an algorithm performed on it to turn it into an oscillator. And then basically what you can do with it and how Jay uses it as well, something I really do like, is basically looking for divergences. So if volume is, VWAP is moving to the upside, but price is moving to the downside, then that can show divergence between volume and price, meaning the move can't be sustained, and chances are we will have a reversal from that level. That's basically what it's saying. So you want to see VWAP moving up when price moves down into a key level. That's basically it. The indicator at the bottom is called Fu Manchu, but again, indicators are just a vehicle for you to view price action through. Indicators shouldn't be the main thing, really. Indicators are just a vehicle to view price action through. They show you nothing new at the charts. There's no like magical, amazing indicator, unfortunately. So indicators should be like the last bit of your system. Like 90% of trading is like risk management, and then 5% is, well, I'll say probably like 70% is risk management, 20% is trade management, 5%, and then 5% is I want to give a bigger percentage to mindset, but like then 8% is mindset, and then 2% is your system. Where you from, bro? So I'm from just outside of Birmingham, but I currently live in Dubai. I'm back in, I'm currently around London for the holidays. Mo's back. Don't improve myself, mate. Is there any way we can add cumulative delta on the left side of the volume profile, or is there any indicator? You can get indicators to do that, but I don't have it on my volume profiles. The best thing, if you want to use cumulative data though, it's better to use it not on TradingView. Looking at like, there's quite a few, like I think it's deep charts and exo charts and things like this. They give more accurate data on that front.